Picture this. It's Friday afternoon. You just walked out of your boss's office with a huge grin on your face. You finally got it. The promotion, the title change, and a $10,000 raise. You call your partner, you text your friends, you book a reservation at that steakhouse you've been eyeing for months, and you think to yourself, finally, I can breathe. Finally, I can relax. Fast forward 6 months. You're staring at your banking app on a Tuesday night around 11 p.m., and your stomach drops. That feeling of dread washes over you. Your balance is exactly the same as it was before the promotion. Actually, scratch that. It might even be lower. You're making more money than you've ever made in your entire life. But somehow, you feel more broke, more stressed, more trapped than when you were fresh out of college making entry-level wages. And here's the thing that really messes with your head. You can't figure out where the money went. You're not buying yachts. You're not gambling in Vegas every weekend. You're just living your life. So where did it all go? Here is the brutal truth that your HR department will never tell you, that your financial advisor probably won't mention, and that most personal finance gurus completely ignore. That raise you just got didn't fix your financial problems. It actually accelerated them. It made them worse. And today, I'm going to show you the exact math behind why earning more money often leads to having less actual wealth. And more importantly, I'm going to give you the precise steps to stop your next pay raise from absolutely destroying your financial future. Hey, I'm Uncle Chan. I expose the money traps keeping high earners broke so you don't fall into them. If you're tired of working harder while your money disappears, hit subscribe. Let's start with the math, because your brain plays a dirty trick on you the absolute moment you hear that number. $10,000. When your boss says, we're giving you a $10,000 raise, your brain immediately starts calculating what you can buy with $10,000. Maybe it's that vacation to Europe you've been postponing. Maybe it's finally upgrading your decade-old car. Maybe it's just the breathing room you've been craving. But here's the problem. You don't actually have $10,000 extra to spend. You don't even have close to that. First, the government takes their cut, and it's a big one. If you're already a high earner, which most people getting substantial raises are, that marginal tax rate is brutal. Federal income tax at higher brackets, state tax if you live in places like California or New York, FICA taxes for Social Security and Medicare. By the time all of that is calculated, you're looking at losing about 30 to 40% immediately, sometimes even more. So that $10,000 raise, it's really more like $6,500. Already we've lost a third of it, and we haven't even gotten to the really insidious part yet. But here is the silent killer that nobody talks about: inflation. While you were grinding away at work, putting in those extra hours, impressing your boss, working toward that promotion, the cost of everything else in your life went up. Groceries aren't the same price they were last year. Gas prices fluctuated and probably increased overall. Your car insurance went up. Your health insurance premiums increased. Your rent or property taxes climbed. Netflix raised their prices again. Uber Eats added more fees. Your gym membership increased by $15 a month and you didn't even notice. Real wages, when you adjust for actual purchasing power, have actually fallen for many people over the last several years. The dollars you earn by less than they used to. So a huge chunk of that raise, maybe half of what's left after taxes, is just you catching up to the increased cost of maintaining the exact same lifestyle you had before. You're not getting ahead. You're just keeping pace with inflation. So let's do the math. You started with $10,000. After taxes, you have $6,500. After accounting for inflation eating away at your purchasing power, you have maybe $3,000, possibly less, of actual new purchasing power. $3,000 of genuine, real increase in your standard of living. But here is the massive problem, the trap that catches almost everyone: you don't spend like you have $3,000 extra. You spend like you have $10,000 extra. Your brain anchors to that big number your boss told you, not the reality of what actually hits your bank account. And this is where human psychology absolutely destroys people's finances. This brings us to a concept called Parkinson's Law. The original version was about work. But in personal finance, it has been adapted to mean this: expenses always rise to meet income available. No matter how much you make, you will find a way to spend it all. It doesn't happen all at once. That's not how the trap works. It's gradual, which makes it so much more dangerous because you don't see it coming. It starts with something small and completely reasonable. You get the raise and you think, you know what? I've been carrying this beat-up old work bag for 3 years. I deserve a nice leather one. I'm a manager now. I should look the part. So you buy a nice bag. $300. Not crazy. Totally justifiable. But then something weird happens. You're getting ready for work one morning, and you put on your old shoes. And suddenly they look shabby. They look cheap. They look wrong next to your beautiful new bag. A week ago, those shoes were fine. But now, next to the new bag, they're an embarrassment. So you buy new shoes. $250. Still reasonable. You're a professional. Then you're walking to your car, and you look at it with fresh eyes. Your car's 8 years old. It runs fine. It's reliable. But next to your new bag and new shoes and new professional image, it looks sad. It looks like a college student's car, not a senior manager's car. So you start thinking, maybe I should upgrade. I can afford the payments now. I got that raise. This is called the Diderot effect, named after an 18th century French philosopher who wrote about how buying a new dressing gown triggered him to replace everything else in his study because it all suddenly looked shabby in comparison. One upgrade triggers a chain reaction of consumption that consumes every single dollar of your new income, and usually more. And here's how you justify it to yourself. You tell yourself, I work hard. I put in the hours. I earned this promotion. I deserve this. And that word, deserve, that's the trap. Because deserve is an emotional metric. It's not a mathematical one. It's not based on your actual financial capacity. It's based on your feelings. And feelings are terrible at managing money. Your emotions don't care that you're not saving for retirement. They don't care that you have no emergency fund. They don't care that you're one job loss away from financial catastrophe. Your emotions just know that you feel tired and stressed and like you've earned the right to treat yourself. But it gets so much worse than just the Diderot effect. There's another layer to this trap that's even more insidious. See, with that new promotion usually comes more responsibility, longer hours, more stress, more pressure, more everything. You're in back-to-back meetings all day. You're answering emails at 9 p.m. You're thinking about work problems when you're trying to fall asleep. You're dealing with difficult employees or demanding clients or unrealistic deadlines. And because you're working so much harder, because you're so much more exhausted, you start making what seem like small, practical decisions to make your life easier. You're working late, so you're too tired to cook dinner. You order Uber Eats. That's 100% markup on food, by the way. A $15 meal from a restaurant costs you $30 by the time you add delivery fees, service fees, and tip. But you're tired, and it's convenient, so you do it 3 times a week. That's an extra $200 a month, $2,400 a year, just on delivery markups you wouldn't have paid if you'd picked it up yourself. You're too busy to clean your apartment anymore. You used to do it on Saturday mornings, but now you're working Saturdays sometimes or you're just too exhausted. So you hire a cleaning service, $150 twice a month. That's $3,600 a year. You're too tired to go to the grocery store and meal prep, so you buy more prepared foods, pre-cut vegetables, meal kits. Those cost double or triple what the raw ingredients cost, but they save time. And time is what you don't have anymore. You used to cut your own grass. Now you pay someone. You used to wash your own car. Now you pay someone. You used to do 100 small tasks yourself that you now outsource because you're too busy, too tired, too stressed. And here's the really insidious part. You're so stressed from the new job that you feel like you need bigger, more expensive ways to decompress. You used to be fine with a weekend camping trip. Now you need a full week in Cancun at an all-inclusive resort to actually relax. You used to be okay with a nice dinner out once a month. Now you need it every week just to feel like you're treating yourself, like you're rewarding yourself for surviving another week. We have a name for this in behavioral economics. It's called decompression spending. You are essentially using your new higher salary to pay for all the therapy, all the services, all the treats you need just to psychologically tolerate the new job that gave you the higher salary in the first place. You're not getting richer. You're not building wealth. You're just processing more money through your bank account to pay for your own exhaustion. You've increased your income, but you've also increased your expenses by the same amount, maybe more. You're working harder, you're more stressed, and you're not actually any better off financially. And this is where the trap completely snaps shut, where you go from being trapped to being locked in a cage. You start using that new income, that higher salary on your pay stubs, to qualify for bigger financial commitments. You go to the bank, and they see you're making $120,000 now instead of $90,000, so they approve you for a bigger mortgage. You move from a small condo to a nice house in a better neighborhood. Your mortgage payment goes from $2,000 a month to $3,500 a month. You go to the car dealership and they run your credit, they see your income, and suddenly you qualify for that luxury SUV you've had your eye on. You trade in your paid-off Honda for a BMW with a $700 a month payment, plus higher insurance because luxury cars cost more to insure, plus premium gas because it requires it. Maybe you move to a nicer apartment in a trendier part of town. Rent goes from $1,800 to $2,800, but you can afford it now, right? You got that raise. Every one of these decisions individually seems reasonable. You can afford the payments. The math works on paper. But here's what just happened. You just locked yourself into needing that high salary forever. This is called the golden handcuffs, and it's one of the most devastating financial traps in modern life. If you make $50,000 a year and you spend $40,000 a year, you are free. You have options. You can quit your job if your boss is terrible. You can take a risk on a startup. You can move to a new city. You can take 6 months off to travel or figure out what you really want to do with your life. You have a cushion. You have freedom. But if you make $200,000 a year and you spend $200,000 a year, or God forbid, $220,000 on credit cards, you are a slave. You are trapped. You cannot quit. You cannot take a pay cut to do something you're passionate about. You cannot walk away from a toxic work environment. You need every single dollar of that salary just to keep the machine running, just to make the minimum payments, just to keep your life from collapsing. You traded freedom for the appearance of success. And that's the cruelest irony of the whole thing. From the outside, you look successful. Nice house, nice car, nice clothes, nice vacations on Instagram. But on the inside, you're terrified. You're one layoff, one recession, one health crisis away from losing everything. You have no savings, no emergency fund, no investments. You're living month to month, just at a higher price point. So how do you escape this? How do you break free from this trap that catches almost everyone who gets a raise or a promotion? You need to implement what I call the invisible raise strategy. And you need to do it the moment you find out you're getting more money, before that first bigger paycheck hits your account. Here's exactly how it works. The next time you get a raise, you pretend it didn't happen. I'm serious. You act as if your salary stayed exactly the same. Do not let that extra money touch your checking account where you can see it and be tempted to spend it. The day you find out about your raise, before you celebrate, before you tell anyone, before you start thinking about what you're going to buy, you go to your HR department or you log into your payroll portal and you set up an automatic diversion. You calculate exactly how much extra money will hit your paycheck after taxes. Let's say it's $500 more per month. You set up an automatic transfer so that $500 goes directly into your investment account, your 401k, your Roth IRA, your brokerage account, whatever you're using to build wealth. You never see it. It never hits your checking account. It's invisible to you. If you never see it, you cannot spend it. It's that simple and that powerful. You freeze your lifestyle at your old income level. You keep living in the same apartment. You keep driving the same car. You keep ordering Uber Eats the same amount you did before, or hopefully less. But meanwhile, your savings rate explodes. Your net worth starts actually growing. This creates what I call the gap, and the gap is everything. The gap is the difference between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is your freedom. That gap is your security. That gap is your ability to eventually stop working because you want to, not because you have to. Most people spend their entire careers trying to increase their income while completely ignoring the gap. They go from making $60,000 to $80,000 to $100,000 to $150,000, and the gap stays at zero the entire time. They just spend more. But if you can keep your spending frozen while your income grows, the gap expands. And that's when wealth actually starts to build. That's when you start to feel actual financial security instead of just the appearance of it. Let me give you a concrete example. Let's say you're making $90,000 a year and you're spending $75,000. You have a gap of $15,000. Your savings rate is about 17%. That's pretty good, honestly, better than most Americans. Now you get promoted and you're making $110,000 a year. Most people would increase their spending to $95,000, maybe $100,000. They'd maintain roughly the same savings rate, maybe $15,000 to $20,000 a year saved. They'd feel like they're doing fine. But if you implement the invisible raise and keep your spending frozen at $75,000, now you're saving $35,000 a year. You just more than doubled your wealth building rate without it feeling like you're sacrificing anything, because your lifestyle didn't change. You're living the same life you were before, but your net worth is growing more than twice as fast. Do that for 10 years, and the difference is absolutely staggering. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars in additional wealth, possibly over $1 million depending on investment returns, just from not inflating your lifestyle every time your income goes up. And here's the beautiful part. After a few months of not seeing that money, you forget about it. You adapt to your current lifestyle. It becomes your new normal. You're not constantly feeling deprived or like you're missing out because you never had that money in your checking account in the first place. It's like it doesn't exist, but it does exist. It's just existing in your investment accounts, working for you, compounding, growing, building your future freedom while you're just living your normal life. Listen, I need you to understand something fundamental about wealth. Looking rich and being rich are two completely different things. They're often opposites. Most people use their raises to look rich. They upgrade their car, their house, their wardrobe, their lifestyle, their social media presence. They want other people to see that they're successful. And that desire, that need for external validation ensures they stay broke forever. They stay trapped in the cycle. Real wealth is quiet. It's invisible. It's boring. It's the money you don't spend. It's the car you didn't upgrade. It's the house you didn't buy. It's the vacation you didn't post on Instagram. It's the number in your investment account that nobody sees, that nobody knows about, that gives you options and freedom and security. The wealthiest person I know personally drives a 12-year-old Toyota. He lives in a nice but not extravagant house. He wears normal clothes. If you met him at a coffee shop, you'd have no idea he's worth several $millions. But he sleeps great at night. He has zero financial stress. He could retire tomorrow if he wanted to. He has complete freedom. Meanwhile, I know people making $300,000 a year who are stressed out of their minds, who can't sleep, who fight with their spouse about money, who are terrified of losing their job. Because they spend every dollar, they look successful. They're actually broke. Your future self is counting on you right now to be smarter than your current impulses. Your future self, the one who's 55 or 60 or 65 years old, is hoping and praying that you, right now, today, make the smart choice. Don't upgrade your life. Upgrade your freedom. Build the gap. Make your raises invisible. Let your lifestyle lag behind your income and watch what happens to your net worth, to your stress levels, to your options in life. I'm Uncle Chan. If this video woke you up, if this changed how you're going to think about your next raise, hit that subscribe button right now. Because I make videos every week about the psychology and the math of money that nobody else is talking about. And if you know someone who just got a raise or a promotion, send them this video. You might literally save them from financial disaster. I'll see you in the next one.